Namaste, Pranam, Gita Dhyana. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitam Ritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatva Manusandadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshinim. O Bhagavad Gita, with which Lord Narayana himself gave enlightenment to Partha. The ancient sage Vyasa included it in the Mahabharata. O Goddess, showerer of the nectar-like knowledge of non-dualism contained in your 18 chapters. O my affectionate mother, the destroyer of rebirth, I meditate upon thee. Krishna Vandana. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Son of Vasudeva, the slayer of Kansa and Chanur, extreme delight for Mother Devaki, O Lord Krishna, the supreme teacher of the universe, my salutations to you. With the blessings and grace of Sri Krishna, our reading of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the 17th Adhyay. And Sri Krishna is explaining to us about the threefold Shraddha that begets in all the beings, depending on their past karmas, depending upon their accumulated inherent tendencies. And based on the Shraddha that is bestowed upon each and every being, that the Shraddha, type of Shraddha that grows in each and every being, we start acting accordingly. We start performing our works accordingly. If it is a Sattvika Shraddha, we start doing the purest of the pure tasks, the acts, and whatever we are doing has got is filled with purity inside. If it is a Rajasic Shraddha, then it is the status quo kind of just an ordinary, mediocre kind of work we keep on doing, and we get engaged in doing so many activities at a stretch. And if it is a Tamasic Shraddha, then we work only towards our downfall. All our actions, all our thoughts, all our deeds, they ensure that we never come up. We never come up on that path of liberation. And it is always the degradation from lower to lower, low to lower to lowest kind of. And Sri Krishna then told us that even this threefold Shraddha, it has its impact on the way we eat, the type of food that we eat, because food also is Trividha, Sri Krishna says. And he said not only the food as such, all the activities that we perform, whether it is yajna, that is the sacrificial acts, whether it is tapas, the austerity, or even if it is, say, dana, we are offering something in charity, alms giving, all these activities that we undertake, they have the respective connotation with the Shraddha that we beget, the Shraddha that grows in us. And last shlok that we read, Sri Krishna has started teaching us about the food aspect. What is the food that is loved by Sattvika tendency people, which is the purest of the pure nature, that kind of food. And Sri Krishna said that the food which increases, the food which augments, ayuhu sattva balaha arogya sukha priti vivardhana. The food that vivardhana, the food that augments, that increases the ayuhu, the longevity, vitality, energy, sattva, energy, nature, the basic inherent nature, the energetic nature, bala, the vigor and power, arogya, the health of each and every being, sukha, the happiness, joy, and preeti, cheerfulness. The food which increases these tendencies, the food which increases all these facets which are attached to our life, the longevity, the vitality, the energy, the power, vigor, health, joy, and cheerfulness, all these are increased by certain types of foods. Now, how are these foods? These foods are rasyaha, snigdhaha, sthira, hridya. These are tasty. Rasyaha, these are wholesome. These are savory. Very nice feeling we get on our taste buds. These are rasyaha. Snigdhaha, with the right proportion of fat in it. Snigdha is fat. Sthira, the quantity is substantial. It is not that I am overeating or I am undereating. I am starving. Sthiraha, the quantity is wholesome again. And hridyaha, the food that goes well with one's constitution. Hridyaha, that is agreeable to one's system. It is not that eating that food the person will get into trouble, digestive problems, this problem, that problem. Food which happens to be conducive, which is agreeable to one's system. Now Sri Krishna says all such types of foods, these foods are liked by the Sattvika person, by the Sattvika being for that matter, whether it is a person or any other being. So that is as far as the Sattvika nature of the āhārā is concerned, of the diet, of the food is concerned. Now, on the sthira aspect, on the quantity, Sri Krishna says it has to be very optimum quantity, not excessive eating nor starving for that matter. And on that particular thing, I remember Sri Ramakrishna's one teaching. Sri Ramakrishna used to say that eat as much as you require in the daytime. During daytime, yes, when it is during the period when sun is there up in the sky. During that time, the system is very much cooperative with the digestion of food. Our digestive system is very active. The enzyme secretion and all those things, they are at their most optimum. So Sri Ramakrishna says that eat as much as you require in daytime, but reduce the food as much as you can at night. So this is again a simple thumb rule as far as the quantity of the food that is to be consumed is concerned. So that was Sri Krishna telling us about the Sattvika type of food. Now today he is going to tell us about which food is the Rajasic food. Now Sri Krishna says, kaṭvamlalavaṇātyuṣṇa tīkṣṇarūkṣavidāhinaḥ āhārā rājasasyeṣṭā duḥkhaśokāmayapradāḥ. Very clear that what type of food is considered as a Rajasic food and what is the impact of that kind of food on our body, on our health. Now, Sattvika food, Sri Krishna has told us that it is all getting us into a very positive results, longevity, the vigor, the health, and cheerfulness, joy, happiness. Overall, the personality is in a blissful mood. But what happens to the Rajasic food? The Rajasic food is, it is katuhu. Katuhu, that is bitter. Amlaha, sour, extremely sour. Like the moment we eat something, which is highly sour, we just feel do like this. Oh my God, it is so sour. So Sri Krishna says the type of food which is bitter, which is extremely sour, lavanaha, excessive salt. Excessive salt we can't eat. And the moment salt is more in any of the vegetables, suddenly we become very upset. So the food which has excessive salt in it, excessive bitterness, excessive sourness, excessive salt, and Atyushnaha, excessively hot. Ati ushnaha, excessively hot. Then tīkṣṇa, pungent. Tīkṣṇa, pungent is that is like the red chilies, those small tiny chilies that we get, which are extremely pungent. The moment we take one bite, and our eyes, nose start watering. The tongue also, it is burnt heavily. So tīkṣṇa. Then rukshaha, dry. It doesn't have sufficient water content in it. So that kind of food. And vidahi, burning. The moment we eat, we get that burning sensation throughout in our digestive tract. Vidahi, that burning kind of sensation, the food that gives. This is called as āhārā rājasasya. This food is of the type of rājasika. So Sri Krishna tells us this is the type of food that called as rājasika, the food that is extremely bitter, the food that is extremely pungent, extremely sour, excessively high salt, and then pungent, hot, excessively hot. Now, these kind of food, and also the vidahi, the food that results in the burning sensation all over, that food is of the type of rājasika. Now, what happens after consuming this type of rājasic food? āhārā rājasasyeṣṭā duḥkhaśokāmayapradāḥ. That results in production of pain, that results in dukkha and amayapradāḥ, grief, disease. That is the type of food, that rājasika food, that leads to all the negative things. We are totally uneasy after eating that food. We start getting the burning sensation, and since all the inputs in that rājasic food, they are not cohesive with our system. Excess chili, excess salt, excess sourness, they in turn, it is not pleasant to eat. It results in dukkha, it results in shloka and mayapradāḥ. It also, the moment there is no happiness while eating certain food, the moment while eating this type of food, when we are uneasy, that automatically brings in some kind of distress in our self. That brings in, also sets in the various diseases, like excessively pungent. Automatically it will lead to acidity, hyperacidity and all that. And then excessive, any excess for that matter, all the bitterness or pungency or the salt, or even if it is a dry, I mean, there is the water content is so less, it is almost, I mean, difficult to chew them. So the food should have the right proportion of water in it for that food to be palatable, for that food to be chewable, for that food to be easily digestible. If it is a very dry kind of product, we won't be able to digest it. And then once we are not able to digest that food, once there are digestive problems, that leads to all sorts of health disorders. So Sri Krishna says, this is the type of food which is liked by the Rajasic people, and in turn, having enjoyed that kind of food with excess pungency, excess hotness, excess chili, excess salt, what happens then? They may like it at that point of time to eat that kind of food, those Rajasic people. But in the end, it is nothing but misery and grief and pain and uneasiness and distress. And finally, welcome all you diseases, come and meet me. That is what happens with the people who eat the food that is bitter, that is sour, that is saline, that is over hot, that is pungent, that is dry, that leads to burning sensation. Now these foods are liked by the Rajasika, and these foods, they are productive of pain, grief, distress and disease. So there is a tingling and burning in the tongue, the eyes get bloodshot, tears start trickling down, there is water running from eyes, water running from nose, water running in the, even perspiration in the hair. All these kind of things, they happen with the Rajasic type of food. The eyes get bloodshot, tears trickle down profusely, nostrils water copiously, the head reels, the stomach burns. These are all the characteristics of the Rajasic food. So remember, whenever after eating any food we start getting these symptoms, know for sure that it is Rajasic food, which is getting us into some problem or the other. They tell upon the duration of the life of the consumer. They are definitely injurious to spiritual practice. So the Rajasic food never ever takes a person forward onto the spiritual path. Because your entire attention, oh, my stomach is having this problem, I am having that problem, I am having burping, I am having acidity, I can't sleep properly. With all these health related issues, how can we lead a spiritual life then? So Sri Krishna says, one should first of all know what is Rajasic food. And that he has very elaborately told us. This is the Rajasic food, which is liked by the Rajasic tendency people, but that is no good for the spiritual progress. So this is this description of the Rajasic type of food that Sri Krishna has explained to us in great details in this 9th Shloka of the 17th Adhyaya, the Shraddha Traya Vibhaga Yoga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Sri Ramakrishna, Jai Thakur, Jai Ma, Jai Swamiji.